Yoshi's Story, everyone's familiar with this. This is literally ported from Melee. I don't think they changed anything. Let me show off the boundaries. I think that they made the ceiling slightly higher, I think, on this.
I would agree with that from what I just saw.
Yeah, I think it's slightly higher. The side boundaries, no. Maybe a little bit more to the side, but not really.
Hardly matters.
Yeah, but maybe it's just the widescreen also lowering it off a bit.
Same old with that stage.
Okay. Battlefield is actually not the same it is in Brawl. They realigned the platforms to make it more like the Melee Battlefield.
No wonder I get thrown off when I switch between the games.
Because if you notice, there's no gap here. There's usually a gap between the platforms, but it's literally straight down. So you can't actually... It's nearly... You're going to have a hard time... Like, see how tight that thing is? If I move slightly to the right, I'm going to... See? I barely moved. I'm on that platform. It's a very, very, very small gap. Because in Melee, that's how it was. Brawl, it was more spread out. And also the size.
They didn't change the size of the stage, though, right? They just moved the platform.
I think... for Brawl, if you noticed, almost... A lot of the characters, their head touches the platform.
Yep.
Not this game. Like, Ganon's head was, like, in the platform. See?
Oh, sorry, the screen kind of froze for a little bit. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, now I see you.
Yeah, because his head's, like, no character's head is touching the platform. Some characters, their head will be touching in Brawl. So they changed the height. Because it feels like they changed the height of the characters, but I'm not so sure on that. Because some stages is like exactly the same. So I think it's the stage itself they changed the size of. They actually made it wider.
That is very interesting. I actually had no idea that they did that. I just assumed it was the same.
Yeah, when I played, I'm like, this is interesting. Characters' heads aren't touching anymore. What's going on? I was like, oh, they realigned it. Because I think this platform was more to the right. I think the stage itself is like a little bit wider. And the platforms, yeah, there's definitely a gap here. It's like, not anymore, because I know in Brawl, if I throw an item up, I'll throw it straight up here. That way it'll land on this part here. But I can't really do that here because it's a really tight spot to do it.
So this was basically done just to give people that Melee comfort factor, or it's like playing on the whole battlefield.
Yeah, these ledges are still the Brawl ledges, though.
It's still some of my favorite ledges.
Pokemon Stadium 2.
Hands down, my favorite new stage.
Yeah, this has become like the new Battlefield.
Is it really like the new Smashville or new Battlefield?
It'd be for Brawl, it'd be like the new Smashville. For Melee, it'd be like the new Battlefield, yeah. Because everyone picked Battlefield in Melee for the most part. Like, it's really nothing wrong with the stage. The platforms are in a good spot. The ledges won't screw you over, except if you're like right here. I should have went to Versus to zoom in on that. Actually, I should do that actually. Okay, so I'm here. And just because if you show from here, everyone's like, what the hell is this? That there, you will hit your head on that. You will hit your head on that, and I think there's also a gap underneath this.
Oh, so there's like a little box underneath that.
Yeah. It's the same way it was in Brawl, see? That's my head touching that. So that's how high that goes.
Nintendo, finish your stages.
And that's a wall. So if you have a wall jump, if you're somehow weirdly in this spot, you can wall jump off of that. So you guys gotta keep that in mind. They changed this to be more Melee-ish. If you know, the normal Final D from Brawl had a lip, which also annoyed people.
Yep.
This is more of the Melee one. Of course, the texture.
Even the texture.
Yeah, the texture, and they changed the background a bit to make it look like it kind of. But it's hard to emulate that background. The background was like trippy as hell. There's like a small lip here, but it's not a lip that... It's a lip, but it's not something you get caught under.
Yeah.
But if you're using a tether, like for example, Zero Suit, which I will show. Okay, like Zero Suit's tether is the same it was as before. But on this stage, if you're too close, it won't work. But that happens. Because you're inside of the stage, so the tether will not grab.
Ah, I see.
So this guy, see what happened there? It didn't actually grab the ledge. But it'll still act like you tethered and it'll let go. So as you saw, I went to free fall. See? She goes to free fall, even though you missed the ledge. So if you have a tether like Zero Suit goes straight up like that, you gotta be careful. You gotta be in the stage, back up, and then do it. Because you can actually go further in. Because that's how FDs is. It's kind of like a weird fixture as it going down. And you can still wall jump off of it. So if you're Zero Suit, you probably want to do that instead. Let's see, Dreamland. If you recall the melee counterpart, that's how this is. It's more so because the 64 version is a lot smaller. The platforms are closer together, and the stage itself is smaller. Like 64, it'll be from where Samus is standing to where the end will be where Pikachu's standing. Well, not he actually moved. It'll be like this edge to this platform here is where 64 is, because the characters are much bigger in that game. Because if you notice from the transition from 64 all the way to Brawl, the stages it was bigger, so smaller.
Yep.
Except for Dreamland, which that got ported weird. Like if you look, the best example is Corneria. Well, Sector Z in 64, that stage was huge, and in Melee it was a decent size, and in Brawl it was very small.
Oh, you mean the 64 Sector Z? Yeah, that was hella big.
It was big, and then Melee made it smaller, and then Brawl... Melee was small, and then Brawl made it even smaller. So, this stage, you check a different character, because it's going to take a while for... Oh, wait. I got to pick a familiar character so you can kind of see... Okay, so... Let me just put him down here. Fox up smash, we already know how strong that is. That's out there how far the ceiling is here. And forward smash. Or rather, I probably should just do back air. Oh yeah, the wind is there. As you see Wispy blowing. So they emulated the wind as well, which of course keeps messing with people.
It's a real Jimmy Rustler, yeah.
Yeah.
Surprised they didn't just get rid of it. They probably could have if they wanted to.
They could. I think they added it later. So let me see. And that's how far it is sideways. And Fountain of Dreams, which they ported for Melee, surprisingly very well, along with the moving platforms. And this thing down here, which Fox doesn't have much airspeed. I was trying to wall jump, but it's gonna be really hard to do that there. Okay. So yeah, that's still there.
I see that wall is still just as rideable as it was in Melee.
Yeah, some characters like Toon Link can definitely play around down there for a good 10-15 seconds before actually coming back up.
Nice.
Because of his new mechanics that the game added. Okay, so let me set him to like, let me see, 60 or 80, because Fox up smash is pretty strong. See, that barely killed.
Oh, barely. Yeah, he barely lived.
Well, yeah, barely lived.
Yeah, barely lived.
Yeah. So, Fountain of Dreams in Melee, surprisingly, I had the highest ceiling in Melee. It was actually higher than Dreamland, which is strange. But that actually was the case. And Sideways, his forward smash isn't as strong, so let's show how far it is going sideways.